Hey everyone! Welcome to a one-off video for Underrail. I had intended to record a variety of different games once to show off some of the games I picked up during the Steam Winter Sale, and a few others that I have in my backlog that wouldn't really fit the bill for recording an entire playlist of them. But then I refunded 10 of the 12 games I had picked up on the winter sale after trying a few of them, and so I have less of them than I thought I was going to have. And I just uploaded Nitro Kid today, January 4th, 2023, and well, if I want to have a new series, a new playlist of one-offs, we're gonna have to fill it with something. It's not going to happen too often, but it turns out I've been super addicted to Underrail again during my vacation, which is the worst thing imaginable, because I meant to use this time to play other games and get more recording done, and instead, all I'm doing is playing Underrail. Should have just recorded it this year. This year would have been the last one for it. It's too late. It's too late now. So, I figured we could have some fun by seeing how well Lotaeri does against the Lurker base. I recorded a one-off for this a long time ago when I took Blade through here on normal mode, and I like fighting the Lurker base around level 16 or so, since I feel that's an appropriate level to be to try to tackle them, get a good sense if your build can handle them or not. But I'm higher level than that, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to be able to handle the Lurkers. So what we're going to do for this video is we are going to talk about the build. I'm going to show off, again, what Lotaeri looks like now that he is a few levels higher than he was when I last brought him through Deep Away. Look at his gear. I'll talk about the build and what I thought of it so far, and then we'll get in there and destroy the Lurkers. And when we're done, we'll talk about hard mode for a bit as well. It'll probably be about an hour and a half or 2 hours, all told, to get this video done, so let me put a small break here. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and look at our statistics. So the last time you saw Lotaeri, I think he was level 10. And yes, this is the same Lotaeri that ran through that Deep Away run on hard mode and passed it with flying colors, only dying once because I misjudged the distance of an auto turret. It was the distance I was worried it was, and it immediately gunned us down. It won the initiative roll, which was shocking, and it immediately destroyed Lotaeri. Poor Lotaeri. That version of him didn't last very long, I suppose, down there in Deep Away, but we still managed to do it. But as such, this character has not been min-maxed in any way. He didn't lower a single statistic. I started with 6 in strength, 6 in dex, agility, will, and intelligence, with the idea that he would be a hybrid melee, metathermics, and temporal manipulation character. And it's been quite an adventure to get to this point. We'll talk more about that at the end of the video. In any case, we've risen his dexterity by 1 point. I can't remember what I had when I went in Deep Away. I think dex was 7. We walked in there, if I recall correctly. I think it was dex and agility were both 7s when we last went into Deep Away. So dexterity is what I'll be relying on for my chances to hit. I'm going with a dex character instead of strength character. This is for thematic reasons, because I'm not very strong. My strength in real life is like a 3. or 2, not a 6. But I like to think I'm a little more dexterous than strong, and so I'm raising my dex in that regard, not my strength. It would probably be better for this character to do the opposite, since a higher strength would translate into potentially more damage with various spears that I'm using, and I wouldn't feel the effects of Crippling Strike when applied to me as often, but I'm not doing it. A higher dex does mean, though, that I get a little bonus to my lockpicking and pickpocket skills, which have proven useful, so I won't knock having a 7 dex over a 6 strength too much. I have an 8 agility, because I really want to wear cave hopper boots, or rather, with cave hopper boots and a cave hopper stake, I can get to 10 agility, which allows me to reach a few places that my character would otherwise not be able to reach. In particular in the Lost Ruins, which I have not... Is that right? The Lost Vault, I think is what it's called. which I would like to go to get some more Oddity points and some materials down there, but I haven't gone there yet. Innate agility is also useful because this character is a dodge and evade character, and even though the enemies are tougher, they have higher stat lines, I'm still dodging the occasional shot aimed at me and the occasional melee attack, so I like having this type of character. I like the extra move points as well, and the slightly higher initiative this grants me could let me get out of trouble if necessary. I also wanted 8 agility as the minimum because I'm going to be aiming for, and I've already taken, uncanny dodge. We'll talk more about that when we look at our skills. 5 constitution. I really loathe lowering constitution, although to be quite honest, it would probably have been okay for me to even lower this to 3. I tend to get slaughtered when anything gets line of sight to me or any melee reaches me. I'm killed very quickly, and there has been a handful of times I've gotten out of bad encounters with only like 3 hit points left, like under 10. I think it's happened 5 times, so it has been useful to keep me alive. But most of the time, Lotaeri is just iced very quickly when he's struck. Snipers one-hit him. Hunters shock and stun him with a shock bolt and then kill him next round. A melee, like a sledgehammer guy, can walk up, pummel me. That seems to always hit. And next hit seems to always crit and stun me, and then I'm dead. I hate you. I hate you, Stig, and your RNG for this game. What the heck? I'm just kidding. I love this crap. 5 perception, because I want to be able to see the traps. And I also want to find some secrets, because Lotaeri's playing this on Oddity mode. So getting access to a few of the hidden areas early on, via putting on +1 perception goggles and eating the mushroom salad, has been very useful. And you need a 7 perception to find the secret shop in Rail Crossing behind the bar. Now it's possible to still find that place by using other things to help you as well. Drinking the juice gives you 1 perception, and I think the marsh honey gives you 2 perception? I think for like 40 seconds, if I remember correctly. And so you can lower your perception to 3 and still find those things. But I wanted to find them early, because it was going to be some time until I complete the dude's quest, and sometime before I'm out in the DLC to grab marsh honey. So I didn't want to lower this at all. And it's been useful because I have avoided more traps than I've stepped on. A will of 6 because I'm a spellcaster, and it's really, really weird probably for all of you to see a spellcaster who only has a 6 in will on hard mode. This will eventually be 8. When I hit level 26, I'm intending to raise this 2 points. But at the moment, yeah, it's just 6. It has not proven that much of a hindrance to have 6 will. I'm not doing as much damage as I would otherwise do, and some feats are sealed off to me, but I wasn't planning on taking those feats anyway with this character, so it's acceptable. And a 7 intelligence is useful. I definitely plan on raising this 1 more point when Lotaeri eventually hits level 20, because I want the extra innervation slot. I think it's 1 slot, if I remember correctly, for every 2 points in intelligence up to 10. So we're going to get one more point. I think it's 2, not 3. So we'll grab 1 more innervation slot, which will be useful. And the 8 intelligence will also allow me to take that 1 feat that lowers the extra side cost for slotting multiple schools in your brain by 10%. 1 school is ignored for determining those points. And that will play very nicely with Tranquility, actually now reducing the cost of my psionic skill usage. Okay, I'm doing too much babbling. This is my 4th attempt to describe skills. We're a melee character, so that means every single level, I put 5 points into melee. I view it as a requirement in this game that whatever offensive skills you are using or psionic skills that you are using, assuming you're using them to damage the enemy, you will always want to put 5 points in them. There is an exception for this for throwing and for temporal manipulation, where these are probably not necessary to increase past about like 60 to 80 points. But the others are, I view, a requirement. Or rather, I strongly prefer putting 5 points into those skills every single time. It increases your chance to hit against these enemies and increases the damage that you do as well. So, we're melee, 5 points in melee. I'm a dodge and evade character, so this means I will always put 5 points into evasion. And on most of the characters that are dodge and evadey, they are also probably taking 8 agility, which means I am also probably taking uncanny dodge. Uncanny dodge allows me to get away with a lower dodge score, because if the enemy actually reaches me in melee combat, and they haven't actually hit me, like I see them, and I know they're going to not quite reach me, or they're going to reach me, I can just activate uncanny dodge. If they can actually strike me in combat, and that guarantees they miss. So I don't need more than about a 90 dodge. I think you need like 60 or 80 points in this, maybe 70. It's 40 dodge to take uncanny dodge. Oh, how about that? Okay. Well, I like taking 90 points in it. So, so there you have it. So 90 points in dodge to help uncanny dodge more attacks, and it will probably stay here for the rest of the game. I find it far easier to avoid melee combatants. You can use caltrops, you can put down traps, you can use sprint to get away, temporal contraction to get away, you can use temporal dilation to slow them down, you can stun them to and move away to delay when they can reach you. There's all sorts of things you can do to help you avoid melee attacks. And uncanny dodge is one more tool in that tool belt. And as such, I don't feel like I need more than 90 points here. Subterfuge, lockpicking 81, I'm probably leaving it here. This will let me, combined with the jackknife and the Mark III lockpick, get into 125 difficult locks. In normal mode, the most difficult lock to pick is 140. I think they're probably slightly higher here in hard mode, but I don't actually know. So I'll get to find out, I guess, going forward. And those things are in deep caverns, and even then, I don't believe any of them are Oddity items. I am fine with a max effective lockpicking of 125. Although, I do plan on taking 1 more point in Dex, so it'll be slightly higher than that. Pickpocketing, because I am playing an Oddity mode character. Pickpocketing allows me to grab oddities off of characters who have them. There are a few oddity items on characters that you can't get unless you obviously kill them, and on hard mode I was super nervous about attacking some of these characters because I don't want the entire organization against me. An example will be the Faceless Commander, when we finally get to the Deep Caverns, who has, I think, a 3 or 4 point oddity item on their person, and I just want to pluck it off of them with pickpocketing. I tend to like taking the key off of Aiden and sneaking down to the final battle there, rather than going through the actual battle against the Faceless, as it were, and activating the elevator to get away. We'll see if I still manage to do that here. But this has let me grab about how many... it would take me too long to calculate it, but I'm going to guess at least 15 to 20 oddity points off of characters who have oddity items on them. I like crafting. Crafting is super strong in this game, which I really like when the player crafted items are the strongest things you can get in the game. I am playing a melee character. I need mechanics to make spears because I have no clue where on earth you buy good level spears from. As far as I'm aware, you don't. So this means I want high mechanics so I can make some amazing spears. Having a good mechanics is also useful in case I plan to make like overcoats and I want some decent, what are they called? I can't remember. The vests that add extra bullet damage reduction, mechanical damage reduction to you. But mostly this is for spears. And for working with high-level Super Seal or Tichrome? Yeah, I think it's Tichrome. I'll also want some of this because I intended to make my own armor and boots. And so some mechanics will be useful there because that will allow me to use Super Steel infused leather armor. On that note, I'm taking tailoring. This way I can actually create some better leather armor for me. Because the armor I've got is okay. I actually made the armor I'm wearing at the moment, but I really want Super Steel infused, like greater siphoner leather armor, for example. And I'm going to want probably Cave Hopper infused tabby boots or normal boots with a boot spring in them. I'm playing a Psychic, so this means I need some sort of psi ability, so that's Metathermics for us. All I'm doing is throwing fire. That's the only thing I've been doing since Deep Away. It's been a lot of fun to throw fire around, and it's been also rather tough to win some of these encounters just fire. But that's what we're doing. 5 points in this every single level. And temporal manipulation is stopped at 85 at the moment. Later on, it will be increased a little more, so this way my temporal contraction doesn't backlash against me as often. We'll talk about temporal contraction when we see it in a few more seconds, but this is fine as well for me at the moment. Alright, that's my skills. One more second. For feats, most of these you saw over a deep away. Nimble, because I plan on playing a dodge activity character. Even if I don't have a 0 armor penalty, even if it's just like 2%, that's because Nimble has been helping getting that armor rating down to 0, and I like having lots of movement points on, especially on hard mode, when I need to get out of line of sight or everything all the time, which means as many movement points as I can possibly get. And so Nimble is very useful for that in that regard. And if it is 0, of course, as for 15% to dodge and evasion, that's super useful too. I'm paranoid in real life. You better believe I'm taking paranoia. That extra 5 initiative is nice. The reduced chance to get critically hit is very nice. And I also like the increased detection. This is a fantastic feat. I can't imagine not taking it on most of my characters. Sprint. Something I never took until I played with Gabriel Angelos those 2 years ago. Really useful. Really useful for those 30 extra movement points for 2 turns. That is fantastic. Since I plan on having some Cave Hopper tabby boots or something Cave Hopper infused, I can get the cooldown on Sprint lowered by, I think, 5 points when I wear those. So that should be useful as well. I got Tranquility. As long as I'm not taking damage, which means as long as my shield is powered for most of what I'm fighting, this is super useful. It's also a requirement for meditation, which I do intend on taking at some point, but I haven't been able to figure out when to take it at the moment. Meditation increases the amount of psi available to me by, I think it's 25 points if I recall correctly. I've got Weaponsmith now, so all my spears have an extra 5% chance to critically hit. Escape Artist, which has saved my life numerous times. I view this as a requirement for any character who is a dodge evading character and intends to do the DLC. Those flippin' spiders, they're webs, and 2 spinning spiders can keep you permanently rooted. So Escape Artist is really, really handy. That and Hunters, oh my goodness, Hunters netting me, this has saved my life against them so many times too. Pyromaniac. I'm throwing around fire, so I want to be able to do even more fire damage, and by fearing enemies, they run around and give me time then to deal with other targets who are not running around afraid of being on fire, but instead are trying to kill me. This has been extremely useful, especially for me, a fire-centered Metathermics psionic caster. I suppose weakness, I occasionally fight things that are wearing metal armor, or robots. This is useful for guaranteeing I can kill it in 1 round, assuming one of my 82% chances to hit doesn't miss. It always misses, and usually exposed weakness is the thing that misses as my first attack with 95% chance to hit. Stig, I hate your random number generator. I absolutely hate your RNG. Pre-med. Pre-med is an amazing skill. We've talked about pre-med during Deep Away. I can't imagine not taking pre-med if you're playing a psionic character. It's just so useful. 100% action point, like 0% action points to use the ability, 50% reduction in psi cost. And that's amazing. It's a phenomenal skill. One of the better skills in the game. Uncanny Dodge, we've talked about this briefly, but as you can see, Uncanny Dodge lets me dodge 2 regular or special melee attacks. And every 30 additional points of dodge we possess grants us another automatic dodge. This does, from my testing, use your effective dodge, not your dodge skill. I've got 139 points in... I've got 185 points in dodge, which means I will dodge 8 attacks when something attacks me. I have seen the number say 8, so it is effective dodge, your rating, not your actual dodge skill here of 90. Feature Orientation. This reduces the cooldown of all psionic abilities that have a cooldown by 1 turn, and those psionic skills cost 5 more psi points. Is that right? Or is action points? Action points by 5. So it's more expensive to use them, but you can use them more often. If I combine this with pre-med, I don't care about the increased psionic cost of these abilities anyway. I in particular took this because I want to be throwing around my temporal dilation pretty often to help me deal with meleeers, reducing it from, I think it's 4 turns normally, down to 3 turns, which is super useful. Hunter, no one cares. Sympathy, no one cares. And that's my feats. Alright, let's look at specializations really quick. Really easy. I always take exposed weakness duration 1 more turn whenever I take exposed weakness. It's 1 point for 1 entire more turn on exposed weakness. I tend to actually need it against various things. Like, this will be useful against those giant inferno bots down in the deep caverns. It's useful against the Naga protectors over in the DLC because I'm going to need 1 more round to kill these things. And so that's super useful to have 1 more turn. I've always taken 2 points in pre-med as well for specializations to let me use that 1 turn faster. And I've begun taking more points in Pyromaniac next. I think I have 5 points prepared to dump in Pyromaniac, and then it's 5 other points in some other skill. I can't remember what it is at the moment, though. Alright, let's look at my equipment next. Unisai Headband. This is slightly better, I think, than the one I was using over in Deep Away. I don't have any biology at this moment, so I can't make one myself. So that means I have to rely on this pulling the weight. Medium frequency shield emitter. Nothing special about this. I have no electronics at this moment, so I can't make my own. This was the one I bought from Ezra, over in the Southgate Station before I headed out there after I had beat the Depot A run. So this has been sitting, I've been using this the entire time so far. I'm pretty sure it came from him. It might have actually come from Halim, now I think about it, in Core City, but I can't remember. But I bought this very early on before I did anything else, because one of the very first things I do after I'm done with Depot A is get a shield, since it's so useful for dealing with some of the early on encounters you'll be having. And I haven't yet found a better one. There's been a few with more energy, but they've all been amplified, and I don't like using amplified frequency shield, amplified shield emitters. I really don't like that. On one hand, they absorb like all the damage, but on the other hand, oh, you're out of power after like 1 attack, so I don't like that. Metathermic insulated overcoat. I was using one of these, I believe, in Depot A. That was around level 11 that I had gotten off a Ironhead by Southgate Station. This is one I made myself. It is slightly better than the one I had gotten near Southgate Station, but I think it's 2 more points of mechanical damage, 3 more points of heat, and 1 more point of cold. I'm still using my doctor's pouch. It's so useful to just immediately drug up in this game. So quite often I'm using a side booster. I'm slamming a adrenaline booster in me as well. So useful. Just so useful that their action points is basically 2, not 10. I found this Shock Tungsten Steel Dagger off, I think it was a Assassin Lurker. And I think it was the one hiding behind the door beyond the beyond the cave-in by the lunatics to the west of Southgate Station. There's a little ambush behind the door there of a Lurker Assassin and a Lurker Cutthroat, and I think I got this off her. Great weapon, level 16. I wouldn't be able to make this for some time, assuming I was to start taking electronics, and it's been very useful. Having something that is a lower action point cost than my spear is also useful, because sometimes the creature's got like 1 or 2 hit points left, but I can't stab it with the spear again, and I don't have enough action points to use, well, I probably do have enough action points to use my pyrokinesis stream, but this is useful if I don't want to do that. A fantastic Trichrome Spear. Level 24, 2,490 mechanical durability. This is one of the late game weapons we could possibly create. I think there's potentially only 2 better that I could possibly have made. Incredible amounts of damage, 41 through 76. It's made of Trichrome, which means that the action point cost, I believe, is a little lower. It's been lowered by, I think, 2 action points compared to, I think, a normal spear cost, which is 20. So, useful, I love it, and it's got a 10% critical chance to hit because I have Weaponsmith. And I just made these Cypher leather tabby boots. I wasn't really comfortable with the 3% increased critical hit chance that the anti-thermic tabby boots had. It has more dodge and evasion, which is super useful, at the cost of slightly less movement points. And also, oh right, it lowers the action point cost of swinging this by another 1 point. And of course, this 1 point as well. So this is 17, and the dagger's 11. I always forget that that's the case. Coral was in my game. To my knowledge, Coral's charms do absolutely nothing. They're just a sucker purchase for your character. I don't see this affecting any of my stats. As far as I know, they do not affect any of your stats. I still thought it was thematic to buy one from her, so I went and got one. The unfortunate case is this means Booth is not available in my game. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to, it's slightly harder mode for me. I don't mind slotting this as well, because I have nothing else that would really go into these slots here. Flashbangs and MK3 or frag grenades or high explosive grenades, these two are on separate cooldowns, but these types of grenades share the cooldown with these types of grenades. So I have this extra slot and nothing really to put in it. I don't have a cloaking device. I can't get a taser. So the only thing I could think of that would make sense here is a charm. So I'm running around with the Hopperfoot charm at the moment, just for the hell of it. Yep, why not make the game a little tougher? I'm already playing on hard mode. MK3 frag grenades, because I found these off some bombers, and flashbangs, which I have yet to ever see landed properly. Lottery has no throwing, and my goodness, these flashbangs have saved my life so many times. Well, not those flashbangs. Flashbangs I've been throwing have been so useful for Lottery. Grenades have been, just in general. Holy crap. Even without any throwing. Normally, I wouldn't even have them on the bar on normal mode, because I could get through all these areas without using grenades. But on hard mode, that's a completely different story. Alright, that's it for our character. Let me put another break here. Reload the game, so I have 18 minutes on my underpie. Quick save, and guys, let's do it. I have yet to do this. I have not been over here before. So this will be my first time seeing what the lurkers are capable of on hard mode. We're going to die! By the way, we're absolutely going to die. We're going to die a lot, I think. Hopefully not as much as many times as I'm worried that we're going to die, but we're still going to die a lot. Alright, let's do this. Actually, we should let that see me. Or I should destroy it. We'll destroy it. Then we listen. Oh. Okay. This is not the one who's supposed to investigate. It's supposed to be a hunter. I was listening for the sound of the... There's a chain link door here. And I was listening for the sound of it opening. Oh! But there's something over here, because I'm not allowed to run this way. A gunslinger. Maybe they are investigating the sound of the explosion. Okay. I can't make out the armor you're wielding, but I see an assault rifle on you. Why not? Let's make it tougher. Alright. I don't think I can kill this in one go. We can. We might have been able to kill it with the second stab if I had used Exposed Weakness. But this guy's coat is a little better at blocking mechanical damage than this gunner's was. I can't quite get away from him either. That's not going to block line of sight. That might actually block line of sight, though. Shield up. Okay, good, he missed. That's a 9mm he's firing. I don't think there's anyone else down here, but I'm going to throw a flare. There is not. We get out of combat and get away. The lurkers will all come down here to investigate the sound. I am not above quick saving all the time here. Here she comes. Let's see if we can get someone angry at us. No, we did not. If you can de-stealth someone by throwing a flare at them, even if they're not within your line of sight, it will still put you in combat. I'll search the bodies off screen when we're talking about hard mode a bit. Now I know there's a lurker. Oh! Oh! Oh, wow, we evaded that. That was so lucky. Actually, we could have just gotten at it with Escape Artist. Do I charge her? Yes. We're going to try just killing her now. Oh, that sucked. Alright, so at times like this, when I miss the exposed weakness first attack, which is most of the time, we got to go all in. Oh, I didn't even show you what abilities I have in my brain. So let's do that really quick. Here's what I've learned. You can see what's in my brain. Entropic Recurrence. So, I like using this when I crit with a spell or my weapon, because that's a ton of damage. I heard the sound of the door opening and knew there was someone here. So in a situation like this, we probably don't need exposed weakness, but we're going to try to land it. Let's temporal dilation him in case this misses. Actually, my sprint's still on cooldown, so we should probably just run. So let's run away from him. Dilation will lower his movement points significantly by 50, so he probably can't reach me, and he's going to lose 10 action points. I don't think he'll be able to round the corner and get an attack against me, so that will be good. That tells me that someone else is here as well. Oh, that was a beautiful hit. I'm going to go ahead and use Entropic Recurrence, sorry, and run away again. He still won't be able to reach me, and he should die. The fact that that's still doing that tells me that there's someone else on the way. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Or hopefully they just investigate this little area and then leave. Okay, we're good. Shutting that door saved my life, because he would have gone right behind me and slaughtered me without me ever noticing he was there. Okay, let it be known that shutting doors is indeed helpful. It's not just because I have OCD. Back to my brain. So as you can see, I like Entropic Recurrence. Arguably, I suppose Support Distortion would have killed that guy as well, but I would have had to wait around for it to actually tick, which meant we would have been attacked by him. I like that this does damage immediately. I like that it's a percentage of the damage. As you can see, 169% of the original damage over 4 turns, which is really nice as well. And because it has a cooldown, it does benefit from that one feat I've got. So I like this as I just crit someone for 146 fire damage. Entropic Recurrence on that. I definitely want that ticking on that target again. or I just crit him with my spear, drawback recurrence. I want that damage happening again on that target. Psychotemporal dilation, for the reason you just saw. Slows down targets, they can't reach me. That melee guy was easily avoided for 2 turns. We got lucky to hit him as well multiple times with 67% chance to hit, which is useful, but this is useful for keeping people away from me. Psychotemporal contraction. I didn't use this on Lotaeri when he went through normal mode, and I'm using it all the time here on hard mode. This is effectively a adrenaline shot, although it doesn't improve. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize adrenaline increases your dodge and evasion. How about that? I always forget. It also improves your strength by 2. I always forget that's the case. In any case, this is like it. It gives us 15 more action points and 30 more movement points for 2 turns. After which, there's a chance, it's a decent chance, a 43%, that we suffer from the effects of a temporal dilation of some sort. I will use this pretty often if I don't get what I want to kill the target, to guarantee I get a chance to kill it. And I prefer using it over my adrenaline shot because I don't want to wait around for the fatigue to expire, and the dilation doesn't always happen, so... For my other fire spells, though, Pyrokinetic Extreme is the only, like, really source of fire damage I've got besides Pyrokinesis, and I like both of these. Good AoEs, both of them. Okay, let's keep... Oh, let's search these. I think there's a... Isn't there an item in one of the... yes, there is an item here. The last eye patch I need. Okay, I can search all the corpses later. Lots of saving. Lots of saving. Oh no! Someone else is on the way. I just heard a shield activate. It's probably the sniper that's in this area. That really sucked, that hit. We'll heal. Thankfully, it wasn't a kneecap shot. Unthankfully, that still really hurt. I'm gonna... Oh, I saw that. Someone else is on the way. Let's hide here for a bit. That gunshot. Yeah, we'll have everyone coming here. Okay. That's... I love that they're all grouped together. Let's see if we can actually set them all on fire. No, and we missed. Because, of course, we would. I'm going to put Entropic Recurrence on who? Actually, I don't think it's worth casting it on this group. If I can stun all of them with a flashbang, I could move up and... No, I don't want to run up in Entropic Stream. Let's slow down. It's not going to matter. The sniper a bit. You know, I'm going to put this on a target. No. Well... I think, Tim, you just run. I don't think they'll get line of sight to me this turn and have enough action points to fire. That's all of them healing. I need 2 more rounds to Pyrokinesis is off a cooldown. You know what? I'll throw one of those. They should cluster around each other a bit with that guy stunned, because I'll have to move around him now if they weren't planning on doing that earlier. I know it does nothing, which is why it's hilarious to me, but we don't have anything else to spend the action points on, so we might as well go ahead and do it. The murderer is here. Okay, so... temporal dilation is still on cooldown, so we're going to have to worry about him. That was a great hit. Let's put this on him. Okay, and we killed him, so I didn't need to do that. But there's nothing else here. Let's move away. A little more. Arguably, I should have taken the shield off, but I'm paranoid there's a stealth enemy here amongst this group that I didn't see yet. The fire spell is ready. So, pre-med's still on cooldown for one more turn, but I'm willing to use this now. The gunner's now running. There is a trapper. I'll keep throwing flares in the hope that I accidentally, or sorry, not accidentally, I unpurposely reveal someone who was otherwise stealthed among that group. Let's move around the corner. Pre-med's now off a cooldown. We can also throw another grenade. Oh, there's two snipers. Oh, no. Oh, wow. There's two snipers, so we must have de-stealthed one of them. They're all at full life. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm not above zoning in hard mode. If I zone, to get back into this zone, I have to fight through the butcher, though. There's no other way for me... No, there is another way for me to get in via the vents, but I have to explore this section, which I have not done so yet. So I'd have to off-screen that. We can... Okay. We can throw a grenade and then potentially run around the corner here to avoid the trapper for a bit. Or here would be another... Actually, this would be the better spot, because I can fall back to this place, and the exit's there, too. But it's 15 AP to throw the frag grenade. Okay, then we're gonna throw the... We're gonna kiss the hopper charm. Let him have it. Actually, I should activate my shield first, because this might end up in my face. Dilation's off a cooldown. I can't stay here, but I don't know where to go. Those snipers are gonna kill me unless I start running away. So I think we will use pre-med to use a dilate on the trapper and try getting away. 7 turns because another health hypo. The change to health hypos is one that I really dislike the more I play hard mode. The game's already hard enough without that change. Nice. Well, all my AoEs are still on cooldown, and dashing out to deal damage to the trapper. I don't know if I can get back here. We can probably take one swing, but I think it'd be better to still fall back more, since Pyrokinesis will be off a cooldown next turn. So we'll use a Psi Hypo first. Maybe, this area might be an okay area to stay in. Depends upon where the snipers are. It's 37 movement points to move up here. It's 31 to swing. I have 21 left. We can move up, take a single swing, and move back. That was fantastic. But my Entropic Recurrence is on cooldown. This is the dogs fighting, which is why that hourglass is doing that. Okay, we could swing at her and potentially kill her, but I know the snipers are right on the other side of her, so we don't want to stay here. We want to move away. And we'll go ahead and set them on fire if we can. I would love... Oh, and we can kill that trapper. She's dead? No. She's not dead. She'll die in 2 rounds. We once again bravely run around the corner. This is such a huge mistake, guys. But here's what I'm thinking we're going to do. We can use a pyrokinetic stream on these 3, which will guarantee kill the trapper. Well, if I stab the trapper, we'll probably kill her if I hit her. Lightning passes to him. We then move up and we try killing the sniper next. I'm probably going to have... I don't want to use a focus stim. We're probably going to need to use temporal contraction and an adrenaline shot here. Let's do this. So we'll use as focus stim to start. Kill her. Move up. His aim shot's likely off a cooldown now, so we definitely want to kill him. But we can't take a single hit from the sniper. That sucked. Okay. Oh, that's... My Psi Hypos are on cooldown, so I'm dead. I just lost. We just lost. He's gonna move up and shoot me. And I can't... Oh, actually, okay, hold on. We can... take away his movement, but I can't do anything else to him. He's got no movement, so I'm gonna hope that this takes away enough action points that he can't do anything to me when he rounds this corner. We're dead if he rounds that corner, because he's going to aim shot me. Okay. Well, I can kill him, but now we're looking at another gunner. Let's first get back some more psi. I'm going to use contraction. We're going to throw a grenade. Good. Oh, that was a wonderful crit. We're still in combat. We need to look around that corner, and then I need to decide what I'm doing. There's another freaking sniper. So here's the big problem, guys. When adrenaline's fatigue kicks in, and especially if we're also... Well, actually, no. When fatigue kicks in, I will not be allowed to leave. So we suddenly have to deal with all the enemies that we're looking at. But you know what? I think we can. He's not afraid. I think we run. Because he's not going to get line of sight on me when I move back into this zone. I don't really want to run. I'd like to... But generally, I like doing these rooms without zoning. But it's been really difficult to do so. If we're suffering from temporal dilation and from fatigue, there's no way we're killing this sniper. I think we have to run. We have to run. That sucks. It sucks, but we're doing it. Was it the... And it was the best thing to do. Because our action point total right now is just 35. It's enough to swing... Oh, it's enough to swing twice our spear. I guess we could have stayed. Okay, we've got enough psi to reserves to finish at least this guy off. I'm going to wait till my health hypos are off a cooldown, and then we'll step back over there. In the meantime, we can repair a few of our items. Recharge my dagger. Our shield's fully charged. These are in good shape. Okay, not bad so far. Not bad so far. You know, recording this for you guys is really super useful because I can talk through what I should do each round. And hopefully that sniper doesn't have line of sight to me. I'm going to assume he won't. By the way. I tend to make some silly, stupid mistakes playing normally. I guess before we walk over there, I'll mention really quick that I think Lotaeri has died a total of about like 50 times to get to this point in hard. And what point is that? All of the lower Underrail has been explored with the exception of not quite all the rooms in the... How do I say this? Hecate? Research outpost. I didn't fight the death crawlers that I know are in there because I have no clue how I fight death crawlers on hard mode with Lotaeri. Some of the upper caves have been explored. I got through most of the lower caves. There's a section down here that I did not explore yet, but everything else has been. I did not yet step foot into upper Underrail. I think there's 16 more Oddity points, especially if I go to Upper Underrail, and there's a handful more of them left in the cave. I think like 2 more. I think I still have 1 more boar tusk to also kill. I've killed every single boar tusk in this game like 3 times, and I haven't got all the boar tusks yet. Anyway, let's walk back over there and see if we immediately die. And we don't. He did not have line of sight to my starting position. Okay, now he shouted for help, so we're likely to see other people arrive to investigate. Or are we? Wow. That might have been all of them. The dogs are still fighting. We handled that quickly then. Okay, that's interesting. The shut and open doors tell me who investigated the noise that we made and the battle that occurred. What forces were present during them. I intend for Lotaeri to join the free drones, so I do need, by the way, to clear this base anyway, since we have to rescue the prisoners down below. So that was the entirety of the Lurker base, with the exception of the murderer that's down in the bathroom there, the butcher here, and the 2 in this area. Or at least in normal mode, there's 2 here. Let's check. Did they investigate? They did not. The door's still shut. Like most people who play Underrail, the AI in this game don't shut doors behind them. The good news is that tells me that they're still in there. In normal mode, there's a trapper and a murderer here. I'll make sure they see me. They are on the way. They won't have the movement to reach that door at the moment, but they'll be opening it next turn. On the off chance this will reveal them, I'll throw there. That could be a mistake because now they'll get all their movement points, but I'm going to expect that they can't... Oh, you know what? This is probably a safer place then. I think one's bouncing into the other one. We did not reveal them, so this will do so. I still don't see them. Oh, man. Oh, okay. A flare did reveal them because we see both of these guys. Okay, so... hopefully there wasn't a third in there on hard, but there might be. Let's go ahead and set them on fire. That did not set either of them on fire. Do I just run? Let's use the recurrence there, and we'll slow the murderer. And we'll run. I'd like to pop out there and hit them with something, but I think it'd be smarter to keep the hunter away from me. Or let her get a little closer. I think they both used a health hypo. But one of them might have used adrenaline. Let's run over here and just wait again. Why is this delayed? Okay. That's a lie. We totally do not have a 95% chance to hit her. I think it's more like an 80% chance. I don't know why it does this, because I guarantee when I move up and swing at her, we're not going to see a 95% chance with a second strike. There we go. Okay. I guess maybe it was a 95% chance because she didn't see me originally, so she wasn't prepared for the hit, but now she is. Now, I'm going to use a morphine, but I'm pretty sure we shouldn't need it. Okay, so dilation is off a cooldown. And I can't get away from his attacks, but we should move a little bit away. And now we'll uncanny dodge. Oh no! There's someone else there. A maniac. So there was a third. Uncanny dodge saved us, though. We can set him on fire, so we're going to do that. The maniac will die, and I can just try to get away from the other dude. I think we just do this. We hit him once and get away. Because it looks like maniacs don't have sprint. You can't reach me. And now Uncanny Dodge is off cooldown too. So we can stay here. Okay, good. So we could have stayed there if we wanted to and tanked them. I don't like having no reserves, so now we'll use an inhalant to restore my reserves. Save the game. I'm assuming that was everyone over there. We will face check. Guess I should pair my spear. So going really well. Going really well. I thought I would die several times. We probably could have even zoned. We could have stayed instead of zoning, and we would have been fine. So there's 2 more enemies in the base, and I will consider Lurker base successful at that, because I don't have to go to the other spots. The other spot being the zone over here. I want to kill the murderer that's in this room. And then the butcher. Is there just one of you? I think so. That should reveal him and get him angry enough to investigate me. Oh? We're not in combat? Oh, it might not have revealed him. The recurrence should kill him. We'll help it, though. Oh, God, that's an awful way to die. The thing is just killing you. And the guy who casts it on you just walks up, stabs you to make sure you die, and then shuts the door and lets you die in the bathroom. Oh, poor murderer. Poor murderer. Oh, man. But good job, Lotaeri. Alright, butcher time. So I'm not envisioning there being any trouble with him, because we have temporal dilation to help us here. I think he just easily dies. We can just barely keep out of his range. He's got sprint and he's got adrenaline shots. But if he uses adrenaline, we can also just stay away from him. So let's just go ahead. Actually, he won't be hostile to start either. Putting fire on him in that room is a mistake because he'll recover from it. But I don't have anything else I can really cast on him. I guess we'll throw a grenade to start. That's kind of all I want to do. Let's let him come at us. We can run around the dogfighting pit. That was a fantastic crit. I want that on him again. Oh my god, game, you want me to... I guess I just don't have line of sight to him, so we're not going to risk it. That's not worth it. Let's keep running away. He used Adrenaline Rush. Okay, so we can use Dilation on him. He won't be able to reach me. His adrenaline's expiring along with... Okay, along with our dilation. I don't think he can reach me, so I think I can run up. Actually, we have Uncanny Dodge, so we can just tank him for a bit. Why is that doing that? Why? Why is that doing that? I think it's a dog? Okay, I'm hoping it was the dog. Oh! He could reach me. I didn't think he would be able to. He will die when his turn begins. I can let that kill him. Alright, everyone. That will do it for us. I'm now going to loot the corpses, and I'll just talk with you guys for a bit as I just do standard Tim's won the battle stuff, which generally involves me just looting, break down equipment. There'll be nothing more to watch, no more combats. If you guys don't care about hard mode and how hard it is compared to normal mode, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another one-off at some point. Otherwise, let me put a break here. Hey everyone, bit of an awkward cut here because obviously we're no longer at the Lurker base. I kind of messed up talking about hard mode for a bit. I went on some tangents that no one's going to care about. And I wanted to talk about the few other things that I didn't talk about in my about 30 minutes of prattling on about hard mode. So I'm reshooting this last part of this particular video so I can talk about it with you guys for a bit. Because I'm a little higher level now than I was back at the Lurker base. I'm now level 21. I have not yet done the DLC. I just finished the Dude's quest, and now I have walked around and acquired or attuned myself to all of the rifts that I am aware of out here in normal Underrail at this point, because I like being able to hop around to all these different locations. First, for hard mode, I feel that the difficulty description of playing the game at this difficulty setting is very accurate. Hard mode is harder than normal, and I've died and or done instant reloads in this game on this difficulty probably close to 50 or 60 times now. Most of them have occurred in the same locations. The Baylor fight was particularly difficult, and in the Grey Army base, trying to get through that base without combat ended up being impossible, but I was able to retrieve the gun lube without being detected. Although I did have to reload that particular, the very final area where I had the gun lube. I had to reload that area about 10 or 12 times because I kept being detected in my attempt to try to get to that one shelf and grab it and then get the heck out of there without starting combat. I was not comfortable with my character, even though I was level 20. I didn't really want to get bogged down fighting all of the Grey Army base at that point in time. I did have to fight my way through the very final room back that the dude was hiding in, but that was doable. Scary, but thankfully most of the enemies clumped together, and so a well-placed frag grenade and some fireballs allowed me to do that battle, and I'm pretty sure kissing the Hopperfoot charm, I think, helped tremendously. I still don't think this does anything, but I'm still kissing it during battle before I throw grenades or before I commit myself to engaging all the enemies that are arrayed against me. But hard mode's also fun. I really like most of the changes, once again, that hard mode has added to the game. On that note, though, I have no clue how some builds do hard mode. I'm playing a psionic character who has melee as a hybrid type character. And if it wasn't for fireball and the occasional grenade, if I had to get close to enemies to fight them, I don't know how I would manage it. Playing someone like Gabriel Angelos, my metal armor wielding space marine, I don't think he would have survived in hard mode, because you cannot stand, or I don't feel as if I can, stand and let like 6 enemies beat on me, even when I would be wearing metal armor in hard mode. There's too many enemies with the additional forces that get added in here for I feel a build like what I had played back then to survive against it. My goodness. If any of you are watching this particular playlist and you know someone who's managed to get through the game on hard or god dominating with a non-psionic, non-trap caltrop using sledgehammer character, if someone has uploaded a video of that on YouTube on hard and dominating, tell me, because I would love to watch it and see what exactly that player did to make that build work on hard. I can already tell that there is a different mindset for playing the game on hard compared to normal. I mean, normal requires kind of the same no, not really. On hard, when I'm engaging in combat, I need to know the game mechanics inside and out when I'm doing it, like beat zoning. Yet, I would not want to zone against enemies unless I knew there was a second entrance into the zone where I left combat. This way, my character wouldn't just be torn apart upon re-entering through the same entryway and suffering that minus 1000 initiative and everything in the world hits them. It's possible to survive it with a morphine shot, activating the shield, and some prayer. But I much prefer going into the room via a different entryway. I also feel like no matter what build I'm using on hard, I'm gonna end up taking grenades on the character. It's just, God, it's just too useful not to have grenades on hard. They're a fantastic equalizer for dealing with clusters of enemies. Even a single enemy, grenades are, I mean, this has always been the case, very strong. But on normal, with this build of mine, I never felt like I needed to take it. It wasn't a requirement for me on my characters. And I had characters that never threw a single grenade, or would throw them extremely rarely, such that they would never make it on my bar and I would vendor them to the merchants instead. But once again, on hard, that's not the case. I am throwing grenades, even with my absolutely miserable, no points in throwing characters. I feel like it's a requirement of these characters to throw, and pray that they land somewhat safe, or into the enemy. I can tell that on dominating, it is probably it is extraordinarily important that you have bear traps, I'm guessing, and caltrops to try to equalize enemies as well. Keep them from reaching you, keep them pinned to increase your chances to hit them, and slow them down from reaching you. All this stuff, and probably stealth, I'm imagining, even if your character isn't stealth-oriented, I imagine that stealth, being able to start the combat when you would like, or get a little closer to where you want those bear traps to be dropped, is so important that I'm imagining most people who play dominating are using traps. Even if they don't put a single point in it, if they can get their effective trap level to 15, they can put down bear traps to make the enemy walk in certain places. They'll detect them, but you can still redirect where the enemy's going to walk, which could potentially save your life. All this stuff requires a different frame of mind, a different way of thinking about the game, and the mechanics, the game, the options which are available to you as you play this game. I would absolutely say that playing the game on hard to start, without knowing some of these mechanics, in particular where certain enemies are going to be, knowing where the ambushes are, that's going to be really rough. I bet there's probably been a few people who have done that, and granted, they've probably died 100, 200, 300 times trying to get through the game. But that's, oh man, I am so glad that I sunk all the hours I did in normal mode before finally giving hard a try. I have some statements to make about Oddity mode now as well. My opinion on Oddity is that it is I gotta be careful here. Oddity requires you, doesn't require you. You will benefit from Oddity mode more if you've played through the game once already, because you will have a decent understanding of where some oddities are and how the creatures, what creatures drop oddities, and the type of build you need to have to really get the most out of Oddity mode. Oddity mode favors characters with subterfuge more than those that don't. Some oddities can only be acquired with lockpicking, hacking, or pickpocket, and or are much easier to acquire with those things. For example, I can pick the pockets of the Praetorian enforcers to get their oddity items off of them. The one oddity item that they have on them, without having to fight them. But there's a few locations in Underrail where you can kill a Praetorian enforcer without getting the Praetorians angry at you, because this symbol isn't here, different symbol's there. So you can kill them in these places to get that 3-point oddity off of them. Though I feel like that's a bit mean. To kill a character just to take their emblem, as it were. Which is why I prefer pickpocketing, because I don't want to play a character that's killing the good guys, as it were, just to get some experience points. But I've certainly done that, and wiped out groups of enemies guarding a barrel that like some of the gangs here in Core City, because I know there's a 2-point oddity item there. For example, there's an ambush right here in this spot. There's a dude standing there, there's a flare near him, and there's a chest that they're near. And that chest has a marked deck of cards in it, and that's worth 2 oddity points. That chest, though, if you interact with it, means that that ambush attacks you, as opposed to you paying the guy standing by the flare 25 charons to pass by that location whenever you would like. So it requires a good deal of work and effort and knowledge upon where the oddity items are for you to really benefit from oddity mode. It also requires a more specific build, once again because pickpocketing, hacking, and lockpicking will give you oddity items that you would otherwise, once again, have a harder time, I'm repeating myself, have a harder time getting or be unable to get. I believe, for example, the cybernetic module 3-point oddity item that is in the Cortec warehouse, I'm pretty sure it requires a pickpocket score of, I want to say at least like 90 for you to get into the room that has, it might be 60, depending upon the door that you decide to open to get it. But otherwise, if you don't have if you don't have lockpicking, you're not going to get that oddity item. The Faceless Commander that you will meet down in the Deep Caverns has a 3-point oddity item on him as well. That you can pickpocket him to get it, or you can kill him to get it. But killing him probably angers the Faceless, the entire faction down there in the Deep Caverns, which means you're fighting Faceless Gaunts, which is death. That's as good as death, I feel. In all my 1,000-something hours, almost 700 hours of playing this game, I have not yet made enemies of the Faceless down in Deep Caverns because I'm terrified of Gaunts just slaughtering me all the time. It's probably not as bad as I'm making it out, but I suspect it's probably pretty bad. In any case, having now played oddity mode on hard, and since I first was playing oddity mode way, like many years ago now, I feel like there's been more oddity items added to the game. And it's easier to level in oddity than it used to be. This might also be because I understand where to go for oddity, and Lotaeri here took pickpocket and lockpicking, which really helps me get quite a few of them. But, for example, trying to get the cube, there's 5 experience points you can get from Tanner by letting him know about the various, when you track it down to certain places, if you go and tell Tanner, you get different amounts of experience points. Like, if you go and find Cornel and realize that he didn't have the item on him when you searched him, if you go back and tell Tanner, I think you get 3 points of oddity experience points for letting him know. I don't remember that existing in the past. And it feels like with the addition of, say, the water treatment plant, there's more Oddity items around for you to get and to help you level up. So Oddity is kind of keeping pace with Classic mode. There's still some things I don't enjoy between the two. I don't like the grinding that I feel is occasionally required in Oddity mode. I have had to kill all of the boars twice before I finally got the third tusk from the boars. I just got this. That's what that one experience point is right there. Comes from that, for example. And I had to kill most of the siphoners a second time. And they still didn't drop their Oddity item. But the group in the arena did. And I got lucky enough that the greater siphoner in the arena dropped its Oddity item as well here. I know I've killed every single side beetle in the entire game and not retrieved their psionic brains to study, for example. And there's been 1 or 2 times where I've, in the very beginning of the game, didn't get a single rat hound ear before I had to fight the gentleman guarding the power switch with the 2 dogs that he's got with him, the 2 rat hounds. So I don't like the grinding that's required, and I curse at it whenever it doesn't go my way. Another example is the starting cave hoppers. I had to kill them for maybe like 10 minutes this time around, but the longest it ever took me to kill the cave hoppers to get the dragon tail 2.1 time you can study at Oddity has been 25 minutes in the past. So this has all left a bad taste in my mouth for Oddity mode. But if you're willing to suffer through the grinding, and as long as your character, I think, is probably taking at least one of the hacking, lockpicking, or pickpocketing subterfuge skills, it's probably not that bad. It feels like, once again, it's keeping up with Classic mode this time around that I'm playing it. And some of the lunatic groups I have killed, one of the lunatics has had lunatic poetry on them, which was not the case on normal mode. So maybe that has been a thing as well. I feel like a few other enemies could probably drop an Oddity item. I feel like the Ironheads should have like a 1-point Oddity you can study twice on them. Something that indicates like their gang colors, as it were. That would probably be helpful to get you a few more points. But I can tell that this isn't as bad as I used to think it was. I still prefer Classic mode over Oddity, but I no longer hate Oddity as much as I used to. Why am I bringing this up on hard mode? Because I chose Oddity on hard with Lotaeri, because I really wanted to see... I wanted to compare this to some of my other characters. And will Allion reach level 18 before even doing probably close to half of what Lotaeri has done in this game already? I can tell that by the time he reaches where Lotaeri is, he'd probably be close to level 23. So he'd be 2 levels higher. But I don't mind being slightly lower by a level or 2 compared to Classic on Oddity. I will say that of the 2 experience point types, Oddity has always felt more rewarding, because when you find an Oddity item, you get that feeling that, like, you found a difficult to acquire item, because you did. It's like as if you were playing Diablo 2, and you found, say, a rune or something of the sort from a creature, or you opened a chest that all the other players ran past, and it had once again, a decent rune, or maybe like a rare ring drops from it. It's a good feeling you get when you find these audio items. It's one of the only games that has that feeling for the experience points that you're playing. But I feel that the internet is lying to players when people mention that when you play Oddity, you don't have to kill everything in Oddity mode. This is incorrect. You're still going to kill everything. In fact, you might end up killing more things because you might have to grind creatures. That's a lie. So if you don't mind the occasional grinding, and the most grinding I've had to do in a game with a character has been about 3 hours of it, the Bladelings in particular on normal mode just did not give me what I wanted. I think it's okay. And I think I'm mentally preparing myself to play Oddity mode when I record the game again in 2024. Now, for a few other things for hard mode, because we just talked about Oddity mode for like 20 minutes now. Let me actually put a break here. Okay, so some of the battles in most of the battles in hard mode, all the battles in hard mode are tougher than in normal because the enemies have greater stats. Their dodge and evasion is higher, and their offensive skills are higher, as are their psionic skills. So they will hit you more often, and they will do more damage to you. I don't mind this very much. They're still missing me about what I would expect, so they're hitting me a little more often, but whatever. I'm expecting that because I'm playing on hard. And most of the time, I'm trying not to even let myself get seen by enemies. That would be a gigantic mistake. You gotta stay out of line of sight, I feel. At least Lotaeri is not designed for melee to be seen by enemies. Oh, haven't found any of these yet. Maybe you can find all 5 in here. See, finding a new oddity gets you that good feeling that you, a really nice feeling like, oh, hey, an oddity point. Oh, hey, I haven't found these before. Oh, there's 5 of them. Maybe I can get close to a 6 of a level in this location. I really enjoyed the changes to the Foundry battle in taking out the Bladelings. In normal mode, you fight, I think it's 4 waves? It might only be 3 of Bladelings. On hard, I think it's 7. And every single wave has more enemies in it, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was the same number of waves, and each wave had more forces in it. I remember watching Knife Gaff do the game on dominating mode, and that battle in particular spawned something like 12 Bladelings in for the first combat. That's too good of a spot not to try. And put them on fire. Get out of the acid. I guess you guys are getting a little bit extra, another fight here. I don't remember what this area is like in normal either. I'm so very rarely here. I don't need to stand there. I'm going to make a little wall of flame here, though, to burn any of these guys that come around the corner. That was lucky. Now I'll stay here. You have to put this area a little more on fire. Oh, there's a blob trap there. We got entangled, but that's easily handled. So they are not going to risk setting themselves on fire. Oh, no! Okay. Well, this is super awkward because the flame's about to expire. Something stepped in an acid trap. Actually, I think the one here was destroyed by the flames. That's too good not to put fire on these guys. That's too good not to try a grenade on them. Exactly where I wanted it to be. It's too good not to make this one die with recurrence. That one won't be able to reach me, but let's guarantee that will be the case. Let's activate my shield, because there's a guy with a crossbow still around, probably coming up this way now. Oh, the mutant hunchback there stepped on an acid trap. He'll be immune to that. And he will also live, which is a bit annoying. I'm gonna hope that mutant can't reach me. I can run through this fire. My overcoat protects me from flame. But I'd like to, if I can avoid stepping on it, I'd like to. So he'll die next round, and we don't have to worry about him. That guy has a pistol. It's probably a 7.62 millimeter. We'll hope we dodge it. Although we should get into the shadow to give us a little more evasion. Okay, let's charge. I'll use contraction. Help me get a little closer. Dog first. That's a lot of acid to run across. I'm going to... How many points is it to get here? And adrenaline shots won't let me get there. My fireball's off a cooldown next turn. We'll move over here and end a turn. Alright, she's only using normal arrows, so she's not that dangerous after all. Pre-mid. Fireball. Good. Set her on fire. She will die. We can get out of the acid. Nice. Turbo contraction did not dilate me. That sounds disgusting. Oh, we have another mutated dog. Alright, well, what's this? Oh, nice. It's still gonna... Oh, it's not gonna see me. Yeah, so the beast battle was a lot of fun. Holy crap. I really liked how many bladelings there were. Every single time, like, so okay. The first time I got the second... The first time the second wave showed up? When the second wave showed up, I was shocked. Because I was like, that's odd. I thought the second wave... Because normally, in normal mode... Normally in normal mode? In normal mode, combat's usually over. Like, the combat ends because there's enough time between the groups that if you kill them quick enough, combat's over. But that wasn't the case in hard. So when I had the second group arrive, it arrived, I think, 2 turns earlier than it normally does, which I wasn't prepared for. And then I realized when the 5th spawn happened that, oh, there's more spawns on hard difficulty, and there's more things in each spawn than on normal difficulty. And I loved it. I was panicking by the time the last, I think it was the 7th spawn happened. What fun that was. Because I remember that when I was whittling down the 6th spawn, I'm like, thank God it's over. And then one more wave showed up, and I was like, you're kidding me? Thankfully, Sapake and Dan did not run out of ammo during the battles there. I wish I did not have to zone as often as I feel that I have to zone in hard mode. But I can't, I have no clue how I do some of the battles if I don't, other than dropping down bear traps and caltrops, and I'm I have yet to do that when it comes to bear traps. I have thrown caltrops, and probably when we are fighting the... Oh, when I'm fighting, not we, because I don't intend to record it, when I'm fighting the savages out there in the DLC, that entire beach needs to be covered in caltrops. But I'm not going to be able to put a single bear... Well, I guess I could put bear traps down, but they will totally see them, so it's not like they're going to walk on them and die. It will just be funneling them to different areas instead. My character, now having reached level 21, and letting me take exothermic aura, I am now no longer afraid of Deathstalkers. In fact, I love seeing them. Even though I'm likely to get stabbed in the face by them, they tend to hang around and attack me, but it won't bring me to a low enough life point total. I immediately activate my aura after I use premeditation, and then stream them. This will usually, 95% of the time, put them on fire, and I'll run around them to circle the whole area with flame. As they run around on fire, I then chase them and stream them one more time to kill them. So if I see a single Deathstalker, this build can absolutely handle it without any trouble. And often can do so for even 2 of them. That said, I still don't like fighting them because they don't drop any unique oddities, and they're a lot of work to kill for very little gain. At the moment, Lotaeri doesn't have any biology still. He will eventually get some biology, but I want my electronics to be at least, I think, 80, so I can interact with some of the DLC things that requires a decent electronics score. Because I don't know how I defend the beach without activating those turrets and for the later attack waves that happen, and I'm not intending to join the pirates with Lotaeri. I was a bit incorrect when it comes to funds in the game as well. I thought originally, originally I thought I would be struggling for money if I wanted to fully upgrade the house, buy my own jet ski, and do super seal plates. Then I thought, oh no, like when I was recording Lurker Base, I'm like, no, I should have enough money to do it. Now that I actually have a house and I've began putting some fun things in it, I have a bedroom, I have a living room, I'm back to worrying again. I don't think there is enough money. You gotta bring back every single thing you find in order to sell it. So I'm not sure I'm a fan of that change either in the game. The decreased cost you get when you sell stuff, if only because it makes outfitting my home very difficult to do. I guess we can walk in a little more of this. I guess since we're looking at my character, with my high tailoring skill, I made myself yet another anti-thermic sturdy overcoat. I actually lost a little bit of mechanical damage threshold, but picked up even more heat resistance. And this one has extra life, 16 more health, which I feel is a little more useful than the cold resistance is most of the time. My intention for Lotaeri is to build some greater to create some greater siphoner leather armor for him. And of course, super steel it. I found, by the way, just before I recorded this particular part, I found a super steel blueprint of some sort, which shows a more efficient way, or an additional way, to make super steel, as it were. I think what it will do is it will raise the min and max values of super steel, making it less likely that I'll need to reload. Oh, that's a shame. I have no more dynamite on me, so I have to come back here. Because there could be an Oddity item in there. That's a quality 64 mutated dog leather, but I'm not taking chemistry, I think. I'll still take it though. That's a really good one. Toxic barrel, we can search you. Yeah, we're gonna want to... Oh, maybe not. Unless this is... Can we actually open this door? Oh, never mind. We can. Hey! Old Metro ticket. One more Oddity point. What else is there about Oddity mode? I like the new enemies. So there's heavy shotgunners. And in normal mode, I think only like one, maybe two enemies have shotguns that aren't in the DLC. And even in the DLC, I think there might only be one enemy who has a shotgun. So they're more common in hard out here in standard Underrail territory. And there's Lurker Maniacs, which I'm not familiar with. They are cloaked sword-wielding enemies, which is interesting. Ugh, disgusting. I have no hacking, so we're not going to get in any of these. Actually, we did pick up a key card from one of the mutants. It doesn't open any of those, apparently. Oh, a dog just ran in here and died. Can I get in anything here? I cannot. Sorry, I'm still paranoid about missing things that are hidden from me. It's happened a few times. Actually, there's 3 secreted, they don't highlight, which I know have an Oddity item, and I managed to get them. The thing in Core City, the bubblegum in the toilet in the drop zone. And there's another, which I can't remember off the top of my head now. Oh, in Foundry, the staircase up to where Oculus is located. There's a secret Oddity item hidden there, too. Another old Metro ticket. I get some contaminated bullets as well. Not that I'll ever make them. What else is there? There's been a few rooms I've cleared in hard mode, which took an extremely long time to do. Like, we're talking like 30 minutes. But I did it without dying and needing to reload, and without zoning. Most of these were Ironhead related. That was fun to manage to stick around in those and not flee. I always feel a sense of pride when I'm able to actually, in hard especially, complete one of those areas. Hello, little kamikaze bot. Let's say, if there's one of you in there, there's probably more of you in there. I feel that some of my builds I've used in the past would not work in hard mode without a little bit of tweaking. They'd have to be streamlined a bit. If we play in 2024 Garrett, for example, again, I would need to not take Burglar as a feat with him. It would, while I don't mind the quality of life upgrade, oh nice, a single jumping bean. I don't mind the quality of life that it has. That's a really nice thing to speed up lockpicking. But alas, I would need something that's a bit better. Something more combat-oriented, I suspect, for him. Because he was unable to defeat Chort without first doing the mutagen puzzle. And even then, I think I struggled. Although, I did not realize at the time, because that was my very first time in Deep Caverns, doing Deep Caverns, sorry. I didn't realize I could stealth bomb the mutagen tanks if I have dynamite with me. So maybe he won't be so difficult to use the next time around. I am out of food. That is a sin that I'm walking around without any buffs on me there. Oh, super health hypo. I don't have... Of course, I can't do anything with these at the moment. Because I can't make them, but it's useful to have one. To know it. Room 1 keycard. Oh, this is the Panacea lab. Okay, that's It's locked. So, one or two more things and then we're done, guys. Let's think here. What else can we talk about hard really quick? I feel like cheating a little bit if I'm going to play the game on hard mode, only because I really, it is cheating what I'm going to do if I play the game on hard. So, yeah, I'm gonna. So, there's something I want to show that I don't think anyone generally does, which will be considered cheating, but it doesn't use the cheat engine to do it. You can, and I haven't done it with my character, but I'm totally going to do it when we play on hard in 2024, because I'm going to make it this a little easier for me to start. You can export your character after creating them. So you can create a level 1 character, a new character. You start off in your room in Southgate Station, grab the money that's in your desk, go and grab all the free food down in the commons by shutting the door and then raiding the pantries. Then export your character and start a new game again. And you can do this as much as you like. And you can start with like as much Southgate Station credits as you want. I'm only going to probably do it twice. Once or maybe twice. To give me a little starting boost on food and a little extra cash to help my starting character out, whoever I'm using. Oh, I thought this door was for this. It's for this room. We already knew that Oddity item. Is that it? Oh, no, there's another room over there, too. Okay, let's go check that one. I guess we'll wrap up the Panacea lab. So this will be a Lurker-based Panacea lab run. That was a fun fight here, too. I like that battle against the mutants. Not too difficult. I don't remember what's in here in the normal game, but I do think there's more mutants around. That is a kamikaze bot. I am still in range of it here. Oh no. I mean, I can take the damage without any worry. I wasn't expecting a plasma sentry, though. Okay. Expose weakness. 88 damage. Let's put a entropic recurrence. And then I can try getting away. Will this die to that? Yes, it will. I just need to get away. I could run in here, but if there's another plasma sentry, that will be a huge mistake. So we're just going to try to run down here. No, it's okay. You don't have to shoot me with that. The other thing I think in hard mode, which I kind of feel it's a requirement, which is so odd to say, is the cheat engine for the merchant refresh. Since you need money, and you need a lot of it, being able to get all of it quickly by selling everything you've got pretty much in 5 minutes as opposed to over the space of 3 real-life days is so nice. I have spent quite some time not using the cheat engine merchant refresh. Probably my first like 800 hours of Underrail was spent without using it. But now that I know how to use it and it's working for the cheat table that I have and the cheat engine version I've got, I can't imagine not using it on occasion just to make that go by a bit faster. Wow, there's a lot of experience points in here. We gained 5 Oddity experience points in this lab. There's another Panacea key card. I don't need that vest. Glock, is that a Glock 17? Why isn't that a Glock? Oh, Oh, look at that, everyone. There's a special ability now added to this weapon. Pistol Burst. Actually, there was a special ability added to the Butcher's Cleaver, which is a cleave ability. I like this. They're making the purple items a bit more tempting, so you don't feel as required to do crafting. I'm guessing you could probably, indeed, play the game without crafting at this point when it comes to weaponry. I still feel crafting is the best option, but probably not as required as it would have been otherwise. Let's go open this other door, and then that will do it for the Panacea lab. Now that I've played the game on hard, when I fired up some of my normal mode characters, it feels way too easy for me now. It's the equivalent of playing an FPS on normal mode, because I know I'm better than that. I still have good twitch reflexes, and in this game, I understand the mechanics so well that normal mode, I can probably get through it without dying or, well, not without dying, but with only like maybe 3 deaths total the entire run through. And even then, some of those will have to be, like, probably 1 or 2 of them is because I just couldn't get an 81% chance to hit, and an enemy crit me a few times. Black pendant necklace. Nice. And we didn't find the third room key, and I didn't miss anything here. Okay, alright guys, well, I'm done now chatting. Hope you guys found this a fun run to do. We got a little more combat in against some mutants out here. We killed all the lurkers in the lurker base, and yes, I wiped out the group that was hiding out in the room to the west as well. The entire lower passages have been cleared of hostiles. And that will do it for us. I might slip in another recording of something in the DLC. If there's a battle you guys want to see this character do in the Black Sea, let me know, and I will record it and upload it in the future. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching, and I will hopefully see you again in another one of these. Oh, actually, yeah, let's stop here. Alright guys, thanks for watching.